Okay, are we live, baby? Are we live? We are officially in. Stop it. Where's my live stream? I'm trying to pull you guys up on my laptop so I can see what's happening. YouTube. Anyway, guys, we are in Calgary, Alberta, and yesterday was kind of a special day. Hold on, let me pull this baby up so I can see what you're saying. We're doing this one on my cell phone today, so hopefully this is I don't know, better. It's been so long since I've done a live stream. I forget how to do it. After all this time being on YouTube, here we go. Burn. All right. We're good. Image quality looks not bad. I can get on board with that. All right. Good morning, everybody. So, a little bug. All right, guys, we all set up and ready to go. Perfect Dork, thanks for joining YouTube memberships. Man, you guys are just like rolling in here this morning. 200 people already? So we've got a lot of things going on right now. And I'm super thankful that I've been skipping a few videos here and there. And I've been ahead on videos. So a lot of the videos you've been watching lately have been from yesterday's video and the day before. Those were filmed in one day. So when I get really hyper exciting days like that, I can break them up into 2 videos, buying me more time for me. But I'm so stoked to get you guys caught up to where I am. So I've been in Calgary since August 30th. So I had a meetup out here on August 20-something, 28th or 9th. And I've been in Calgary ever since, working on a pretty massive project. Someone just said the stream is really laggy. Reset your own thing on your end, because I'm watching myself live right now and we are crystal clear. So if you do happen to get laggy live streams on anybody's channel, just refresh your page. It may be your connection. Okay, it's a bit laggy. It lags a little bit. That's all good. What do you do? I live on the road. I don't have the luxuries of like plugged in connection to the grid. So we've been working on a project on my van for the last 12 days. I think it is. Let me see how many days I've been working on this project. Yeah, we've been working on this project now for 12 days, and I've barely filmed any of it, and I'm so excited to get you guys caught up to me. So as of right now, you guys are only 4 days behind me when it comes to video content, because there was like a week where I didn't film a damn thing. Means you guys catching up to me in real time pretty quick, probably in the next half a week anyway. You guys will be right up to real time with where I am. What's the hardest thing to adjust to when starting van life? Planning on a 48 state trip soon, 1 to 2 weeks each state. What's the hardest thing you had to do to adjust? I think you just need to really, like, those who survive in van life are the ones that are very adaptive. You got to realize things are not going to be as luxurious as they are in your home. You're going to have to bend and twist a few things and just learn how to be comfortable in what you're doing here, because things aren't the same. So the biggest adjustment, I think, is getting used to feeling that nobody was watching you. Because sometimes when you pull over at the night, you're like, man, does people know I'm sleeping in this thing? You just stop that. Just like, you'll learn real quick. So the adjustment phase is don't focus on things that are going on here. Really be hyperactive to what's happening out there. Because it's pretty easy to be inside of your van when you first move into it and be like, did people see me get back here? And all those little thoughts that go on in here that aren't happening in reality. Do you know what I'm saying? I think there's always that weird feeling inside your head at the beginning, thinking the world's like staring at you. Or if you move in your van and you accidentally bump the side of your van, And you're, do people hear that? Just that stuff, you just need to kind of just slowly work through it on your own, but get out of your head at the beginning. It's very easy to have your van life to be a mess at the beginning because of what's happening in here. Just have some fun with it, and there's really no adjustment phase besides the fact that you can't stand up if you don't have a stand-up rig. But yeah, there was no real adjustment. I myself was just excited to be in the van, and I was pumped about every place that I slept. I still get pumped about places that I sleep. I get excited when I wake up somewhere like here. I'm like, ooh, is that an Anytime Fitness back there? Shower! You know, no matter where you sleep, I think it's always a constant adjustment. You know, I don't think that ever really stops. So I know there's a lot of questions in this stream that I am going to miss for sure, but I'm just going to grab questions and roll with it. Idgy, thank you, Idgy. So generous of you every time. Tried on the phone, didn't seem to work. Hope this works on my laptop. Yes, Idgy, thank you very much. It definitely works. That's going straight into the gas tank. I really appreciate that. Do I have a Dutch oven? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. No. Yeah? I have a cast iron pan with a cast iron pan lid, so you can make it into a Dutch oven. I find in winter time is the only times that I really use that thing a lot, when I'm actually like, I don't know, when I'm on the move all the time filming. Cooking with cast iron can be a bit of a pain in the butt because you have that cool down time, where in a sticks and bricks, you just throw it on the stove, you let it cool down, you go back later, you put it away. But when you're in the van and you're always on the move, because I usually pull over, stop, have some food, and I'm off out filming some other crazy thing. So for me, that cool down time sucks, unless I think of another way. To store that, so I can move and not have to worry about that 10-15 minutes of downtime. But yeah, I really enjoy my cast iron frying pan, but I have turned it into a Dutch oven by putting the cast iron lid on the top. It does work. It just is, it's very short. Donna, thanks for the love. Question, am I getting Starlink? Yes, once Starlink becomes mobile and we can use it everywhere, then yes, I'll get Starlink. As of right now, that satellite internet, when you get it, you're only allowed to use one of the 1,400 satellites that are up there right now. One. So they're in testing phase right now, so they're only giving you access to the one above your stationary home. You cannot connect to another one. So you can travel around your area, but you only have access to that one. So for me, the second I left my little area, which would be where my mailbox was, because I was approved for it, but that was it, just that one. So once they make it accessible mobile and we can lock into any of the satellite dishes, then absolutely yes. I've been keeping a really close eye on that. They said it was supposed to be released by the end of this year. Now they say the mobile one they're hoping for in early 2022. But absolutely, you freaking kidding me? I need the internet for everything that I do to earn money while I'm on the road. So, oh, heck yes, I'm getting it. Buy shares in Starlink when it goes public. You damn bet. That'd be a cool investment, that one. That'd be an investment that I believe in for sure. Do I worry about the van when I leave it? How do you overcome it? That is a very good question. Do I worry about the van when I leave it? Every damn time. How do you overcome it? You don't. Because everything you own is in this thing. So I've done everything that I can security-wise on this thing without a million cameras on it. But I know for sure if I were to ever leave it, that there's a couple of little baby camera angles that I may be able to snag a shot of their face. But I do know they'll never take my van. They may ransack it and empty it, but it'll still be there when I get back. That's the important part. All the things I have inside of here are all replaceable. You know, whatever's in here is replaceable. But my home itself, as long as it's still sitting there, broken window, things gone, whatever it is, as long as my home is there, I'm good to go. And I do know that There's no freaking way this thing is getting stolen. That is for damn sure. And if it does get stolen, it's GPS tracked. So I'm going to know where my van is within no time flat. And that is a big part. And my suggestion to you guys, if you're going to do anything in your vehicles, GPS track it, because trust me, if your home goes missing, you're going to want to know where it is. And let me tell you, if my van goes missing right now on an app, you guarantee this. The first thing I'm doing is going live streaming. I'm going to be like, Calgary, my van's been taken. It's down this road. Weirdos unite. Let's get this. Try not to swear in the channel, Chrome. I would 100%. I would hunt that bugger down. You guarantee it. And I know for sure a lot of my channel in that area be like, yeah, bro, let's go get your van back. But yeah, GPS track your vehicles, you guys. Trust me, it is really, 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 really good. Sometimes there's all sorts of different ways to GPS track your vehicles. You can even put a geo fence around your vehicle. So just say if I'm here tonight, I can mark a geo fence around here. And if my van starts, I get notified via text. If it leaves my geo fence, I get notified right away. You know, it's pretty cool. There's lots of really, really high-tech systems to protect your vehicles now without the standard chirp, 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 chirp. Because you know that little noise when you open up the door and it goes, rear, rear, rear. How many times have you turned around and looked? Chances are you ignore it. Like everybody else, it's just like, uh-oh, someone forgot to open the door and forgot to disarm their alarm, so you don't even pay attention to it. But yeah, GPS tracking is 100% the way to go. Yep, a big-ass dog will do the trick too. You got that right. But to be honest, I never travel far from my vehicle. I'm usually within sight distance. Like if I go to a restaurant with friends, my number one thing is, can I see the vehicle from where I park? And I will drive around the block 30 times just to be able to see my van from inside the restaurant, so I can sit there and have a great bite to eat and a few beers and be calm. Because if my van was out of sight, you always got that thing. So that was a big answer to a question, but no, you never outgrow that sense of worry when you're away from your van home. I think it's different because you lose everything. Everything. Like your home. Someone breaks into your home, your house, they take your TV and they take your computer and some belongings. Your home is still there to come home to. This is, yeah, whoa, can you imagine? I would lose my for sure. No, it's good. Do I have an auto cutoff? That's what that would be. So you can't start my vehicle. It's impossible. What's up, Chrome? Midwest Van Life. How you doing, buddy? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good. Who did the woodwork in my van? So my main van build with all the little pretty little design stuff on the front and my Weirdos Unite all epoxy poured in the front, that was done by Overland Interiors in Ontario. Andy, all his links are in the description of the videos. I think it's overlandinteriors.com or overlandinteriors.ca. Excuse me, one of the two. Yeah, Overland Interiors did it. So what he does is Andy builds kits and ships them to you. So he doesn't do van builds at his shop. He has van kits that you can buy pieces of the kits and then ships the kit over to you. He actually has my cabinets on his thing. Without the fancy fronts, those are additional things, and you can do anything you want with that if you need it. But yeah, my cabinets and stuff are all on his thing. This cabinet that's over here without the fancy little Swiss cheese looking thing on the front, that cabinet was built by J5 Custom Vans 3 years ago for me. But yeah, 90% of the van was Overland Interiors, and then any little tweaky little things I did were done at J5 Custom Vans. Like he did my ceiling and my door panels and stuff, any add-on additions. I'm in Virginia. Where is the closest place to get my van converted? Google is your best friend. I have no clue. Chris, thank you so much for that. How about a road trip to Dawson City before winter? Dawson City would be pretty cool. It definitely would be. That's on my list. Maybe. I'm really tied up in a big project here in Calgary. It's been 2 weeks just about on the go, and hopefully it'll be wrapped up by the end of this week. But yeah, all the projects I'm doing on my van are just chewing away at my summer travels. So, Chrome, I miss super chats. Where did I miss super chats? Thank you for that, by the way. Terry, thank you. Terry and Ken, appreciate that. Carla, thank you for the super chat. Sorry, guys, when I get talking. Midwest Van Life, thank you, man. Cindy, thanks for joining. I just put, yeah, YouTube memberships. Just said Patreon. Donna, thanks for the super chat. Man, I'm missing lots. Midwest Van Life, thank you again. Iggy, we already got that one, Iggy, thank you. Oh, man, I missed so many. Namak, the Namak experience? Namak, is that right? Thank you for the super chat. Holy cow, man, I'm such a jerk today. I'm missing everybody's super chats. All right. I got Chris's, Dawson City. Maybe. I don't know where I'm going after we're done here in Calgary, but we've got, I don't know, I'd like to be done. I was hoping to be done by today, but this project's going into next week. I live in a van by the river in Surrey. Ooh, there's a river in Surrey? Oh, the Fraser River in Surrey. I used to live in Surrey. Hey, Chrome and Cruise, all the way from Ireland. Hey, Daryl, what's up, buddy? Where did I get my ceramic pan? This seems to be a pretty big question I get. Where did I get my ceramic pan? I bought it, and I've every time I put it in a video, because this question's been so big, I answer it every time. I bought it from a discount store, so I don't know. It's Master Class is the name of the frying pan, and I'm pretty sure all ceramic pans are the same, you'd think. With all the questions that have been coming up, and people have been emailing us about these things, like, I'm going to buy another ceramic pan and do a comparison. See if they're all the same. I like my pan, but I just bought it because it was at a discount store and it was cheap. I bought it at Winners, which is be like, I think the American version of the Winners would be like Marshall's, or I don't know what other store. So yeah, they just sell discontinued clothing and miscellaneous houseware stuff. Carla, thanks for the super chat. Will you please do another video on your music and editing programs, please? Carla, I would love to, but it takes a lot to put those videos together, and those are literally the least viewed videos on my channel. There is a ton. I use Adobe Premiere, and there is a bazillion videos out there on how to use Adobe Premiere, like a bazillion. I've made those videos before, and you load them up, and they get like, you know, like 400% less views than other ones. So obviously it's not, you know, an interesting topic for a lot of people on my channel. So yeah, there's a couple of them on there, and they're all the same. I do the same process now. So if you go back on my channel, if you just type in Vancity Van Life editing, there's got to be something that comes up when it comes to that. But I've made 2 videos over the last 4 years on how I edit my videos. And music, if you're interested in the music that I use in my videos, I use multiple different music services. My favorite one would be Epidemic Sound, Soundstripe, and Storyblocks. Those would be my top 3. So I pay a lot for my music because in order to have so much variety in my thing, I belong to multiple different music services. So between them all, I'm probably spending $600 a year, about that, for all the services. Then if every once in a while, if a new service comes up, I'll give it a try. I'm always looking, just trying to like keep my music sources a little different. It does get expensive, the music part though. But you need to hold the license for the music that you use in your videos. If you don't have a license to use it, then you get flagged for copyright infringement, meaning that you can't monetize that video. It could be something as simple as some guy could drive by here with a car stereo and Rihanna could be playing in that thing, and they could drive up the street. If the algorithm catches that track, then that video is no longer monetizable because it contains copyrighted music. That's how finicky all social media is, except for TikTok's the only one that doesn't have that policy. But Instagram, Facebook, all of them, including YouTube, all pretty finicky. QPR forever, thanks for the super chat. One day I will start my van life going around the world. You inspire me so much. Thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Patty just posted most questions about my van can be answered at vancityvanlife.ca. So I think I'm going to put together a frequently asked questions page on my website too. So hopefully to help out with some of the basic sort of questions that I've answered a lot over the years. But yeah, a lot of the questions about things in my van, it's not 100% complete because I always add little things and I forget to put them on there. But yeah, vancityvanlife.ca has a link to everything. So I know the other day lots of people asked, what kind of drone do I use? It's all listed over there. And to answer that question, I use a DJI Mavic Mini because I don't need a license to fly that one here in Canada. Anything bigger than the Mavic Mini, licenses are required. So I just decided to keep it simple and just do the smallest one possible. So is my daughter going to do van life? She is 15 years old. She has a few more years before I think that becomes a reality. So I don't know. She's thought about it. She has some friends at school that have been talking about building out a little baby blue mini short bus. So, and then of course she's like, well, my dad lives in a van, and that started that whole thing. And now she's, you know, it's cool that it's on the table. You know what I mean? Because if I was, 18 years old and moving out into my own place and I knew that living in a van without paying rent was an option, that'd be pretty awesome. That, and think about it, if my daughter were to start van life and start her own channel, she'd have an instant audience. It's pretty wild. That's where Cruzy is. He's I don't want to move my camera too much because we're propped up here. He's sleeping right there. Right there. Hey buddy, people are asking about you, bro. Maybe you want to come up and say hi? Maybe not. That's my dog for you. Jim, thank you for that. All right, let's get into some questions. Where's Cruz? Just answer that one. He's right back there. Cruz is snoring. Yep, that's what he always does. Fishing pole. I actually have a list of things here that I need to do in my book called YouTube. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here. So right there, I put it, fishing rod. It's on my list. When am I gonna buy it? I don't know yet. It's on there though. Fishing rod. Do I get anxiety? No. No. I've never been. No. That made me think about that one. So when I sit still, like right now, this project is taking a long time. Like we've been here for 12 days. We got here on August 30th, and we've been here doing this project for 12 days. And it's the days where you sit around between the shop being back open again is where I get antsy. I call it antsy. Maybe it's anxiety from not moving, but I get this trapped feeling sometimes when things take a while, and all I want to do is just go run around. But deep inside, I want to get this project finished because I know at the end it's going to be just absolutely freaking epic. But I don't. Maybe that's anxiety. I don't know. I've never felt anything like that before. I don't know. I only get those feelings lately when I sit still. I call it being ants in my pants. That's what I call it. And if you guys want to know what we're doing for projects right now, currently, because YouTube's on a delay. YouTube's always on a delay. Patreon and YouTube memberships have known about this project from the very second it happened. I've shared pictures every day, updates every day, what's going on every day. But that's what those platforms are for me, are to be able to share the things that are going on in my days, in my moments, in real time on those platforms. So Patreon is probably the best place to grab that kind of content, because I can share little baby video clips, and YouTube memberships and Patreon get the same pictures and write-ups about my day. But yeah, I always share that stuff with them, so they're way up to date. They're like 12 days in on that project with me. Patty Crane's like, join Patreon, you'll find out. Mark from South Wales, what's up, man? JB Weld Extreme Heat for that heat shield, already fixed. That video's coming up. We just ripped it off. Just grabbed it and pulled right out. Broken Nomad, what am I using for GPS tracking? Those are just things I don't feel like putting out there. You know what I mean? I don't want to have people know exactly what my systems are, just in case there happens to be workarounds on the internet. I don't know. So I usually keep my mouth shut when it comes to the security side of my van. But there's lots of different ones. Some cool ones to look at too is your cell phone providers offer tracking services for vehicles. So look into that one too as well. I've found so many options when I was researching that. I love the nice things you guys are saying. Chrome, what is my most viewed video? Believe it or not, my top 10 most viewed videos on my channel, 80% of those are van tours. Crazy. Van tours are always my biggest viewed videos, and also the ones that drive the most subscribers to my channel. My number one viewed video right now is the 15-ton military truck, and I think the second video is a lady that I filmed in Saskatchewan in a little minivan, and the third one is a guy I filmed in a minivan. I think the title on that one was Houseless, Not Homeless. But yeah, most of my top videos are van tours, and it's crazy to see, because you'd think, okay, if van tours are my most viewed, then maybe I should turn my channel into a van tour channel. Because if you look at it, they just do so well. Not all of them. I find if there's a couple involved, no matter how epic their vehicle is, my subscribers don't give a crap. They're like, couple, every time. So that's why I usually try to get single guys or single girls in vehicles, because my audience seems to press play on those videos. The second there's a boyfriend, girlfriend involved, they're like, nah, we're good. So, but we do have a lot of van tours coming up. I probably have like maybe a dozen or more on my computer still to be edited. Lisa, thank you. When you are parked, do you, what? You ever have an issue with crews barking at other people? No, I don't. Because when I'm parked, my windows are blocked. These two side windows, I put this stuff on there. It's just a cut piece of plastic cardboard. I used to use like at the dollar store, they had just this like foam stuff, like a foam black piece of artboard. So this just gets popped in my windows at night. It just slides in there, tucked in at night. So from the outside, that now, because the window is shiny, just looks like a tinted window. So at night, Cruz is sleeping, or he's in the back with me behind the curtain. Cruz doesn't bark at anybody. And on that note, I wouldn't care if he did, because it's better that people, and this goes against the grain when it comes to everybody who starts van life that thinks stealth is so important. Not so much. It's better that people know you're in it than not in it. Because if people know you're not in it, there's a high chance some dumbass is going to come bust your window and try to break in. If somebody knows you're sleeping in it, there's a less of a chance somebody wants to do a home invasion and get their ass kicked. Because I would knock you out. My foot would be bouncing your head off my dashboard. like 30 times before I shoved you out of my van if someone broke in. Oh yeah, I would lose it. But if you think about that, if someone knows you're in it, there's probably less of a chance you're going to get messed around with. I mean, I live in Canada. I don't know what it's like in the places that you live, but things have been extremely safe. Nobody's ever tampered with my vehicle in the 4 years that I've been in it. But yeah, Cruz doesn't bark at anybody. He does during the day, but at night he sleeps, man. He doesn't care. But he was also born into van life. He never lived in a home. Like, he went from getting him straight into the vehicle. He's grown up inside of the van. So that may be a little bit of a different factor, because if you're moving into van life with a dog you've brought from your previous life, depending on the situations, your dog may have a little phase where it has to adjust a little bit to the noise that normally goes on around it. Kim, thank you for the treats for Cruz. I appreciate that. So does he. Kim, thank you again. Is that Paolo? Paulo? Is that Paolo? Paolo? Hey, Cram. Did I just mispronounce my own name? Hey, Cram. Hey, Chrome. Just a little something for a cold one or some snacks for Cruzy. No problem, buddy. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Bonnie's like, don't forget to put the fishing reel on your list. I know I'll buy a whole kit, because when I buy a fishing rod, I'm going to need to buy everything with it. Everything, because I have nothing. So that would be a full-blown experience for sure, buying all the little tiny little things that I need. I might wait to get back to Vancouver Island and stuff for the winter, or wherever my winters end up. I might wait until this is all done, because as of right now, it looks like we're not gonna have much of summer travels left in us because of this project's kind of set things back. It'll be over 2 weeks by the time it's done. So I don't know how much farther of traveling we've got before the snow starts to kick in, and it's what, mid-September right now, whatever date it is. What date is it? It's the 12th. It's mid-September. So, you know, I probably got 2 months of travel left. So I might wait and buy my fishing rod till when I get back. Have I ever been frightened? Being frightened living in a van is a little bit different than if you were frightened living in a sticks and bricks. I have definitely, even recently, parked in a place. I pulled up just around the shop from where we're getting work done on my van. I pulled around the shop and slept on the side road. I had somebody drive up right by my side window, and I picked my head up and I looked down, and they were right there in their vehicle looking upwards into my window. And I was like, I wonder what this guy wants. Then he turned around, went back and drove back past me slowly. Then he sat there for a minute, and then he pulled into the parking lot in front of me. And right there, I'm like, he didn't cause any problems. He was a bit nosy. Maybe they've never had a vehicle on that street like that, and he was just curious why this vehicle is sitting there. So I got up right away, got in my van, and I moved it. You don't stay in that scenario. You don't sit there if something didn't feel right. You move to somewhere else. But then when I went around the front of the building, I noticed the guy had writing on the top of his hat. So I'm guessing he was just a security guard that takes care of some of the industrial plazas around there. I drove by, I'm like, it's a security guy, you know, and he was just doing his job. He wasn't causing any harm. If anything, he was making my stay there safer, but I didn't know because his vehicle was unmarked. So I moved. So being frightened in a van is easy. You don't like an area, you put your keys in the ignition and you move. Simple as that. Where you don't have that option in your sticks and bricks house. If you got some shitty situation, you're stuck. Where me, I'm going to drive off and move away and go somewhere I feel better. And I've done that a couple of times, not all the time. In my van life, probably 5 times in total, where I've gotten somewhere, crawled into bed, lied down, I'm like, something doesn't feel right. And that's it. That's all it takes is something doesn't feel right, start it, and I'll move around the block and find somewhere that feels a bit more comfortable, you know? Just got to trust that feeling sometimes. But that feeling, you know, don't do that in the beginning of your van life. Move every single minute you get that feeling, because you need to hone that feeling in. It'll take some time to figure that feeling out. But yeah, I've never had a fearful night. I had a night once where I was at a free campground at in a town up in northern BC, and I'm a heavy sleeper. So I woke up and I heard a lot of talking beside my van. So I popped open my little side window there because I had a window at the time because it was shut with a divider on it. Popped my window open and they had a fire above my van. Like the flames were higher than my van, right beside me. And there was a bunch of guys hooting and hollering. By the looks of it, it looked like some local homeless guys that just came down to have a good time. They didn't harm me any. I just didn't like the situation. I could have stayed out. They were just being friendly. They were like, oh, they were like talking to each other. But I chose to leave. So I got up. Because my side dividers are on my window, they didn't see me getting in the front seat. That's why I like the side dividers. If anything happens, I can climb in the front as long as nobody's in the front by my window. They can't see a damn thing. I go open up the curtain, get in here. They could be standing right there. They don't even know I got in my front seat. Start and move. So yeah, I think van life is way safer than living in a sticks and bricks, hands down, any day. Besides, have you ever driven over somebody with your house? You can do that in a van. Don't do that. Don't do that. But think about it. You do have a very large weapon here if you were in a bad situation. But remember, 4 years in my van, 0 situations where I've had fear. That kind of fear. I've had uncomfortable moments where I'm like, nah, not a good spot. How do you get a wrench icon and your fonts? So those people on here where you see a wrench beside their name, they're comment moderators. So a lot of those people have been around my channel for a very long time, and most of those people support me on Patreon or YouTube memberships. And, you know, because they read my comments a lot, so I've given them power to moderate my comments because I can't keep up with all the trash that gets said. So that's what they're here for, is to go through and just remove people who are being losers. They don't have the power to remove them from the channel, but they do have a power to remove the comment from being public. So having, say, Patty here on my live stream is great, because if someone starts saying something dumb and Patty catches it before me, then Patty can just block them. See you later. Bye-bye. You're done. That comment's out of here. And then I get to go through that stuff after the stream, see what's been blocked. I don't know which moderators blocked it. It just blocks it. And then I can remove them from the channel at that point. Do I live in the van in the weather? I'm living in the van in the weather right now. It's always the weather outside. It looks like it's missing a word. Hot weather, cold weather, raining weather. What's the usual education background of van lifers? That is a very strange question. What does it matter? I know police officers, I know firefighters, I know a legal secretary, I know all sorts of people that live in their vehicles. Did you ask that question because you think we're all like uneducated and we can't, what? I think we're smarter. We're the smart ones that are spending money on, we're spending no money to live. We're not paying high price rent. Yeah, right? I just seen that. Steve's like, exactly, what the fuck kind of question is that? We don't have weather here in Florida, just hot and rain. Samantha, hey, welcome to my live stream. If you guys aren't following Samantha, so she just came up on there. It's Samantha I'm gonna screw your last name up. I'm gonna read it. Olmstead. Samantha Olmstead. Yeah, go subscribe to her channel, you guys. Hi, Samantha. Chris, thanks so much for the super chat. Yeah, you got that right, Chris. Cheers to Patty Crane for keeping Chrome in check. She does. Usually most of my moderators are always like, Chrome! Because they show up pretty bold on my side. So when they say something, it's like, okay, I see it. But they always remind me of like things or questions that come up that, you know, sometimes they'll be like, hey, Chrome, don't forget this question. I appreciate people like Patty. So Patty, thank you. You guys are hilarious. Am I visiting USA anytime soon? Yep, I'm going to visit the US when I get bored of Canada. That's me being patriotic, I guess. You know, every time I've ever taken an actual vacation in my old life, you know, where I'm like, okay, we got 2 weeks off, let's go on vacation. I get on a plane, I go to Mexico, or you do something like that. You leave your country. I feel like my whole life I've just been thinking vacation is away from here, instead of realizing that now that I'm in my van, I would rather travel Canada for as long as I can, because I'm 47. I had to think about that. I'm 47, and I'm hoping, and I've met people on the road that are 70. I'm hoping I still have that much time left to run around this planet and explore. So I am in no rush at all right now to leave Canada. So for the next 5 years, I will probably without a doubt stay here, unless I get one winter where I'm sick and tired of it and I just gotta go. Because that'll be the point that it'll happen, is I'll get sick and tired of it and just be like, I'm out, bye-bye, cold weather. But as of right now, we're going to be still staying up here. Paulo, thank you so much. Hey, brother, as a fisherman, I feel compelled to help another fisherman. I can't quite call me a fisherman quite yet. Check out the Ugly Stick fishing rods. They are, really affordable, hard as nails, perfect for van life. Wicked. Thanks for the tip. Appreciate that. Don't check off that Chrome's a fisherman yet box, because I'm not. As a city boy, that's a weird experience for me to be like, I tried fishing once. I bought a little cheap fishing rod from Walmart when I first started my channel, because my comments like, why don't you have a fishing rod? All these lakes, creeks, and rivers that you're at way up in the middle of nowhere, and you don't have a fishing rod? So I bought one, and I didn't like it. But that was years ago, and now I'm starting to kind of get that thought process again. As I get older and as I'm getting more into the backcountry stuff, I'm thinking more of like backcountry things, like, you know, because I've woken up one morning going, you know, it'd be nice to throw a fishing rod out right now, even if it is for just like a half an hour, just to, like, you know, in the morning. It's been my thought lately. So back when I used to have back when I bought my fishing rod from before, I was not a backcountry boy. I was a city boy, so I'd pull over on the side of the pavement and throw a fishing rod in the creek once in a while. Now I'm in the bush, so things may be different this round. Devin, thanks for the love, man. I appreciate that comment. I love hearing that, and I hear that from a lot of people that I meet when I do my gatherings or stuff like that, where people will come up to me and be like, Chrome, thanks for the inspiration. And when I did a subscriber meetup here in Calgary, Alberta, 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, whatever that was. And most of the people that I met there, they're not ever going to be full-time van lifers. You know, about 90% of the people that I met at that gathering, they're into like weekend camping. So they're bought rigs, or they're buying rigs, or they're thinking about buying rigs just for weekend camping. And it was really cool, because when I'm in Vancouver, I meet a lot of people that'll never do van life, or 100% people that are looking for the escape to get into the van full time. It was nice to meet people that are only going to be weekenders, and I love that. I love it that people watch the channel and they were like, Chrome, you were my inspiration to build something out so we can escape the city once in a while and go do some weekend camping with the family. And to see some of their rigs that they're just using for weekend fun was really, really, really cool. Because on here, I'm not as active inside the comments. I skip in there once in a while, but I don't spend the time to reply to them. If anything, I add them to a list in my YouTube book of questions I should make videos for. But otherwise, I don't spend the time to always respond, because I find it's better to put it in a video. So when you meet people in person, I like it, because then I can actually start putting faces to the camera that I talk to every day, and it's super fun. And when I meet them in person and hear their stories, it's a great way for me to understand that there's a deeper audience than what I think there is in front of me, you know? And it definitely helps out with some content. So like meeting so many people out here in Alberta that are just weekend van lifers, really kind of makes me think I should start producing some content for them. You know what I mean? Because we're all doing the same thing. Whether you're van lifing for a weekend, or you're van lifing in a $200,000 Sprinter build or a $1,000 minivan, it's all the same. All of it. You don't have to be living in a van full time in order for it to be van life. You just got to live in it. You know what I mean? And some people are always like, the Sprinters aren't real van life. Those $200,000 Sprinters aren't real van life. Well, they kind of are. They're still shitting in a plastic bucket. Sure, it may be a compostable $1,500 bucket, but that's all it is. It's a $1,500 plastic bucket, pretty much. So it's all the same across all the board. But it was nice to meet and hear the stories of those people that are just like having their lives changed by the ability of getting away from life, from the traditional life that they're living. Like they enjoy being able to go away on the weekend without the cost of a hotel. And it was a beautiful thing to hear those stories. Oh, sorry, my chat just reset. I'm missing lots of here. Prairie Life, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Oh, sitting in the front seat gets a little bit tough. Does Canada require fishing permits in all the different provinces? Yes, it does. When you buy a fishing license, I'm not an expert, but I have done a little bit of research. The fishing licenses are only good in the provinces that you live, and you need different fishing license for everything. Like if you're on the West Coast, you need a saltwater fishing license versus a freshwater fishing license. There's a whole difference. Hey, Mr. Cruzy came to join the party. Hey, buddy. That's his favorite place to sit. Hey, Cruzy, we're doing a live stream, buddy. Hey? Got anything you want to say? Did you fart? You farted, didn't you? I smell that. He didn't pick his head up. He's like, I smell that too, Dad. Hey, bud? Okay. You go back and do your thing. I'm going to turn my phone around here. Funny guy. All right. Someone says that Jeffy Bear's in here. What's up, Jeffy Bear? Cruz very well might be sleepwalking. That's possible. Sometimes I wonder. He gets up in the morning, just the look on his face is like tongue hanging out. Looks like he's just having a bad moment. Oh my gosh. He looks so miserable. So another thing I have learned, because I haven't really been filming much over the last, I haven't been filming much since I've been here to Calgary. Like that's been like a dozen days we've been here, and it's good because you guys are catching up to us, which is really kind of nice. So the more breaks, because I've been way ahead, super ahead on videos. But I've learned something about Cruz. He is very much like me. Once he starts, he's okay somewhere for a couple of days, and then he starts to turn into a giant dick. He's been really stressed out being at the shop. He doesn't really want to be there. And the other day he was acting up so much, and he wouldn't eat. I even offered him a Timbit. He wouldn't eat at all. So I think he feels the same thing that I feel from sitting still. I think he gets that same little stress, like just always need to move. And I felt bad for him the other day because he had to be outside of the van because they were working on the van, and all he wanted was to go back in the van. He just like, Dad, I just want to go home. Dad, I just want to go home. So I had one of my subscribers come out. He's been helping me out with this project. I hired him. I met him at the Calgary meetup, and he needed some cash, so he was between jobs. So I hired him to help us out on the project. And it's been nice because Cruz got to lie underneath his van the other day, and it completely calmed Cruz right down. The stress on him just completely went away. And it's really cool. Like if you guys are going to travel in your van with dogs, to think that that dog will soon realize your van is home. And he does. All he wants when things are noisy or he's at a place he doesn't want to be, he wants to be lying underneath the van or inside the van. And having another subscriber's van there that's white, Cruz is like, I want to go lie underneath there. And he did. He lied underneath the van and passed out. Just slept there and just enjoyed his time. But yeah, I think if you guys are worried about that, if we are way up the street here and something happens, Cruz will run down the street right to the van. He knows where home is, which is a pretty sweet feeling. Is Calgary larger than Edmonton? Google is your best friend when it comes to that. That I do not know. I know Calgary is a pretty big city. Calgary is a very beautiful city too, by the way. I really like it here. It's been really great. Doing any work on the ambulance lately? Nope. The ambulance is back on Vancouver Island. And so I probably won't be doing anything to that thing until probably the winter. So on the note of that, I have been, let's back that up a bit. I'm going to answer this question first. What's my monthly expenses? So everybody's van life is going to be different. How I live versus how you live are polar complete differences. So I went back a couple months ago and I went and watched some of my old finance videos on this channel on what my expenses are. Back then, I was in a different situation. Back then, I was trying to get out of debt, you know, so I was being very cheap and frugal on a lot of things that I was doing. So my van life was pretty affordable, like definitely under $1,000 a month, including driving around like a maniac, gathering YouTube content, and just being cheap throughout my day. It was definitely less than $1,000 a month for absolutely everything. And if you think about my old life, you had car insurance, car payment, rent. Right there was already double what it was costing me to live in my van. So I think the cheapest month I was having back then was about $800. So fuel is my biggest expense. But I'm different than the average person. I create YouTube content. Because of that, my expenses are going to be way different than yours. So because of my channel, I have a lot of expenses. Like I have a heavy data plan in here in order to do this right here. So I'm about $400 a month in just cell phone data because we don't have unlimited data in Canada. Like I'm so jealous of the US. They have such good data plans. Here we don't. That's why I'm just waiting for this satellite internet from Elon Musk to be mobile so I can cut out that huge expense. But then on YouTube, you got all your music expenses to buy all the music you need for your videos. So my situation is a little bit different. But your van life can be as cheap as you want or as expensive as you want. Your van life can be just as expensive as your apartment life. And that is 100%. Yes, you got that, Samantha. We have none. Samantha's like, what? Yeah, we have data caps. So I spend $175 Canadian, which is probably about 125 US, for 100 gigs of data. I have 2 of those plans in my van. I have one on my mobile hotspot, my little MiFi. I have 100 gigs on here. It says 100 gigs unlimited, but 100 gigs unlimited means 100 gigs fast and then unlimited of slow, which means you can barely, you can't even barely watch YouTube. You know what I mean? When it means like it throttles it back and you can have unlimited data for the rest of the month, it's useless data. It's literally, you might as well go back to 1995 on dial-up. It's that bad. Like you can't watch YouTube videos. Like you barely send an email with a picture in it. But yeah, we have completely horrible data plans here in Canada, and it's always been like that here. That's why I'm super excited to see some changes, especially with that satellite internet that Elon Musk is putting up, because I think that's going to change a lot of things out here, because I think so many people are going to jump ship in our lifestyle anyway from using data. But I have a lot of it, and I don't need that much data in my van. The reason why I got 200 gigs of data on 2 different plans is because we're making so much content here on YouTube that sitting in front of a Starbucks for sometimes 3 hours waiting for a video to go up, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes they're super quick, sometimes they take forever. That really gets into my work days here. You know, and when I'm out running around filming, it gets in the way when I gotta sit at a coffee shop and go, is it up yet? Is it going? Is it up yet? And you look down, you're like 2.5 more hours. I'm like, I just want to be out adventuring and filming instead of waiting for that video to go up. So that is why I put so much data in here, because now I can spend my 3 hours in the morning editing a video, and then I go upload, throw my laptop in the back, and we can take off and explore. And as long as we're within a cell service range, it'll upload while we're out filming and exploring and having a day. Then hopefully by maybe 10 or 11, the video will be up and I can do the thumbnail and post it live. But that's why I've started to do data, because it's been more productive for me on the business side of YouTube. But if I didn't have YouTube, there's no freaking way I would have that. But at the beginning of my van life, if you go way back to my first year, I actually cut my data plan out. I stopped it. I did a $25 talk and text plan with no data whatsoever. And I literally, just so I could save money to pay off all my debt. And then yeah, after that, things started to change. You know what I mean? As the financials started to change, I added some data back to my plan. And now it's just, don't move to Canada if you need data. Period. End of story. Bad idea. Sorry, guys. I missed a lot of people on here. Just talking about data. Bree and me travel. I like that. Bree and me travel. More dead fish for Cruz. Super awesome. Cruz likes those little dead fish. He loves those things. Sweet. Vinny, thank you so much for that. Goodies for Cruz. Thank you. You guys are so generous, man. So generous. Thought that was another camper van, but it's not. All right, I think we caught up on all the super chats. So, on the note of things that are going on inside of Chrome's brain lately, I've brought this up before, and it's definitely been on my mind a lot lately. I've really been thinking about getting a shop. So, because of all the delays on projects and stuff this year and all the things that have gone on this year, I've been thinking that, you know, what if I had a shop? Would these things have gone smoother? Now that I have the ambulance, having a space to keep it, to work on it, to build it, may be a good idea. So I've been actively, like every single day, actively online trying to find a shop in the right area. And I'm thinking about maybe doing this as a 1-year experiment, just as an experiment. You know, if I can find a shop that I can rent instead of leasing it, but most places want a 1-year lease. If I can find a spot, I've been thinking about getting a shop so I can throw the ambulance in it. And my thought is, if I can create enough content in that shop space to pay for the shop space, like if there's enough ad revenue and stuff coming from the videos that are filmed there, then it's feasible for me to keep the shop on a regular, whether it be just to store the ambo or whatever we're doing, or, you know, because I've really been pondering just working on, you know, things on camera, like spending a bit more time and doing more detailed things to the ambulance that I couldn't do if it was sitting at a van builder's shop or somebody else's shop. Because I've done a lot of things to my van in the last few years at other people's businesses because I don't have the space to do this on my own. And if I had a space, there's some of those projects that I would have just did on my own because I have the space to do it. And that's a huge problem on the road, is not having space to do things. I heard something out here in Calgary that I thought was really cool. There's a company called Wrench It, something like that, where you can actually rent. It's a shop with a hoist. You could rent it for you to do whatever you want to do in. You just rent it. You put your van up, you can do all your mechanic stuff. If you don't have tools, they have tools. You just pay a rental fee to use it. That is freaking incredible. If there was more places like that in BC where I've been all this time, I would have used those shops instead of hiring other people all the time to do some of those things that I'm capable of doing on my own. You know what I mean? So my thought is maybe getting a shop so we could start working on this ambulance project on camera. You know what I'm saying? So if we can do this on camera, then it gives me like a little filming space. And then depending on the size of the shop, I'm thinking maybe a space where van lifers in the area wherever I put the shop in, if somebody needs a little bit of a space to come work on their vehicle, they can come into my space and work on their vans on their own. You know, I don't know if maybe I'll charge them a little rental fee to help break up the rent kind of thing, or maybe just do, hey, you bring your van in, you want to cut a roof fence, let me film you, you can use the space for free if I can get the content out of it. I don't know, my mind's just been running a mile a minute lately, and being trapped out here for this long, being trapped this whole summer with projects has made me wonder if I had a space, if these all would have been done prior to me leaving. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh man, thanks for the super chat. Russia has the cheapest data plans right now. I'm definitely not in Russia. Literally pay $10 USD for unlimited data on an LTE plan. That is insane. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. That is insane. We do not have that here. Even as someone with a 10 gig data plan out here is still going to be like $50. It's insane. But yeah, I've been really pondering like just a space and maybe just doing it as a little bit of an experiment. So if I can find a shop that's cheap enough and affordable enough in a good enough area, I may just try it for a year. I don't know, like for all my longtime people that have been on my channel for a while, they know I've been talking lately that something's going on. Something's going on in here that I'm seeking a change, something different. And I'm thinking maybe having a shop space as a filming headquarters, it might be what solves my mind right now, giving me a space where we can just film and set up all the right lighting so that ambulance project just turns out super good, or anything I need to do to my van, I go back to my own shop, gut my van out and do whatever the heck I want. You know, like a Van City Van Life headquarters. So and a place that people could pop by once in a while if they wanted to, if it's that kind of shop. I found some shops where they're in like people's yards. I couldn't have people pop by in those scenarios, but yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking, you know, as a project spot. JRC, thanks for the super chat. Oh, pocket check. What's in my pocket? Good question. Is it a little tiny wallet? I like these little wallets. All I keep in the middle here is business cards, my IDs, and these are just like, I have a credit card and a debit card, and that's it. And then the receipt, which doesn't need to be in there. That's my pocket check. Sorry. I don't carry a lot of cool things in my pocket. I watch a few YouTube channels where they actually do videos like that. They do monthly pocket videos on their everyday carries. I don't have everyday carries because all the things that I need are in my van. Like, I got a knife here with a broken tip because I broke the tip on it. On my visor right here, I've got another little knife, and I've got a flashlight here. But most of the stuff I need is in my van, so I don't really have a lot of things like that in my pockets. As you can tell, everything is covered in stickers in this thing. Everything. Chrome, do I have any plans to put in CCTV all over my van for security? And I do have a camera in my van. Do I plan on putting it all over this van? No. On the ambulance, maybe. The ambulance is going to be one of those projects where it'll be a very slow project, probably over a few years, and do everything to it, including stuff like having cameras inside, outside, so you can see everything from the back of your van. Because I still don't know if I'm building that van for me or if I'm just going to build it as a fun project for the channel and sell it afterwards. Because that could be a thing. I could buy that thing, we could spend a couple of years and make that thing into the most epic overland rig ever, sell it, and start another project. Hence the shop idea, you know? So I don't know. As of right now, I love that ambulance. Do I want to move into it? No. Do I want to keep it? No. Do I want to sell it? No. So I don't know what's going on with it. That's probably the best answer I can give you. Am I going to keep it? No. Am I going to sell it? No. Then what? I don't know. I'm so torn. But yeah, that'll be a fun one either way. We're going to go all out on that thing. Ontario is calling. Come visit. I know I got friends in Ontario that I've been calling, aka Overland Interiors. Andy's been like, yo, when you coming? Yo, when you coming? I'm like, you realize, dude, you're still like, so he's still a long way away from me. I guess seriously, long way away from me. Like, we're only in Alberta. Like, we're talking, we got to go through the rest of Alberta, which is flat. The rest, all of Saskatchewan, which is flat. Manitoba, which is flat. And then into Ontario. And Ontario is a massive province. It's like, going through Ontario is like a 2-day drive. It's huge. It's a very big province. The ambulance is for me. So Terry says the ambulance is for me and my van is for my daughter. Maybe. I see my daughter, if she were to ever do van life, I see Danica moving into a Chevy short van with a teardrop window, a nice, like in like a flat gray with super shiny, nice set of like Supreme rims with the white walls. You know what I mean? The fuzzy dice in the side mirror. I see her being more in like that rock and roll sort of badass looking van with like teardrop windows and stuff. That's what I see her in more than her driving this rig. You know what I mean? I see me keeping this rig. No matter what I choose in the future, I see this being something that I don't want to let go of. I've put my heart and soul into this van, and I don't see it going anywhere, ever, or anytime, ever. Ever. There you go. Signed off. Never getting rid of my van. But yeah, I see her more in something that's more badass, you know? Because my daughter's got that little rock vibe going on with her, and yeah, that's more up her style. Maybe when the time comes, if she still wants to do it, maybe that will be a project I do on my channel. Maybe I'll find a Chevy short little van and just do it out for her. That would be a fun project. But that's years from now, because she's 15. She's got some time. Lots of time. Jeffy Bear's the man, the myth, the legend. Hey, bud. I guess I'm missing messages from Jeffy Bear. Dan in a can says, yep, he now shuts his phone off during live streams. No, Dan, I seen your text pop up here, Dan, but I'm live streaming on my cell phone today, so it's different. Normally, my cell phone's here in my hand, but we're using my cell phone as my camera and my laptop for the chats. My current rig is a monument. You got that right. Am I coming to Nova Scotia? Definitely not this year. Because my whole traveling this year has been kind of just shot with all the little silly COVID things that are going on throughout all the provinces. You know, like, the travel thing's been a bit of a mess. And then getting caught up in projects has been a bit of a mess for me, even leaving in due time before the snow starts. So I think next year I'm going to go crazy. I think next year we're going to cut loose and we're going to leave and be gone all year. I think next year is going to be another coast-to-coast trip. We did a coast-to-coast trip 2 and some years ago. That was my second trip in my van. We went from West Coast to East Coast. So I think that's what's going to happen next year. We're going to full send it, probably leave a little early, like maybe leave end of April, slowly make the trek through the provinces, even in the tail end of snow, so be it, because snow's going away. We'll might as well just go trek through it and head straight for the East Coast and then adventure hardcore on the way back. I'd like to see that trip be next year. So hopefully all this bullshit from COVID and stuff and all the restrictions have gone away at that point. because it's caused issues when it comes to interprovincial travel in some places, and just it's been a pain in the butt. So hopefully by that time things have eased up a little bit and we can move a little bit more freely and have some fun. But next year, plan on a big trip. Plan on that one, folks. Barefoot and Badass. That is an awesome name for a channel, by the way. Thanks for the super chat. Hey Chrome, I'm making body and cleaning wipes. While you hanging on the, you making them? We're making body and cleaning wipes while I hang out here today. How are you making body? I just buy them. Yeah, I'm curious now. Someone at my meetup in Calgary here brought me a the baby wipes from Costco, the Kirkland brand. They were really good. I was really impressed with them. Am I having another meetup in Calgary? I don't know. So I don't know. See, I was hoping my van would be ready by this weekend, and I was going to snag a last minute meetup before we bounced out of town. So I'm not sure, depending on how long this project takes this week. Meetup in Toronto. I don't know if I'm coming out there this year. Maybe. My ex-wife used to make baby wipes. That's not my ex-wife. Some guy named Rasta just said his ex-wife used to make baby wipes. So yeah, for you guys asking right now about where I'm going, I have no clue. Zero clue whatsoever what I'm doing, where I'm going. I just know I'm super excited to get this project that we're working on currently right now on the van finished, because this is going to change the game on absolutely everything. If you want to see what I'm doing to my van right now, I post it all on Patreon until the YouTube videos come out. But Patreon is the place to be, or that join button below. They get pictures of all my stuff going on right now. So just to let you know, my van has nothing on the roof right now. There's nothing. My roof vent's there, but there's nothing on my roof. We have gutted everything. Oh, this project's gonna look so good when it's done. Where do I refill my water? And I like how you worded this one. This is a really good question for people. Where do I refill my water tank? So because I have the ambulance now as a project, I've really had the chance to really think out what I want to do there, what I want to do different, what I want to do the same. Because I have more space in the ambulance, the option to put in a large tank that you refill from the outside with a hose is an option. I don't have that option in here because my van is tiny. I need the living space. I use water jugs. So those jugs right there, there's two 27-liter jugs. 27 liters? There's 7-gallon jugs, so whatever that works out to. So I have two 7-gallon jugs. If I were to put a permanent tank in my van, then I would be stuck every time I needed water looking for a hose. Not a hose, I could keep the hose in here, but looking for a spout on a building, at places that RVs go. Like, I'd always be stuck getting water at RV fill-up stations and any building that I can find a hose tap on. I think that would be a bigger pain in the ass than me taking my jugs and going into a grocery store and filling them up. So where do I fill up my water? Any place that I can find a hose on any building, in any park, and a lot of parks have them. Some campgrounds, you can drive into the campground, borrow the water, drive to the campground and leave. Been there, done that many times. But I also can take those into grocery stores when I get grocery shopping, because most grocery stores out here have a big water fill-up tank. You put your jug in, you select your amount of water you want, and it fills it up. It's $2 or $3, and you're gone. And I have right there, it'll cost me like $5 to fill those jugs, or $6 depending on how expensive some areas are. And you have fresh, good water in here that doesn't taste like funky stuff from a water tap in some weird towns. Some towns have weird tasting water. So yeah, water is, I find out here in where I've been traveling in Canada, has been extremely easy to find. It gets a bit harder in the winter, but that's where you just start going to grocery stores in the winter, because all your outdoor taps are going to be shut off everywhere, including at all sandy dumps. They're going to be completely off. Whew, what's up, you guys? We got 1,000 people on here right now. Oh, the sun's coming out, which is nice. Oh, getting a little bit stiff. I'm sitting here in my front seat. You guys have had some really good questions today, man. So this person must be in the US. Someone's like, I used the Walmart filtered water machine. It costs 39 cents a gallon, which is super cheap. So yeah, but that's the plus side about having portable jugs, is you just opened up where you can get your water from in a big way. When you have a stationary locked in tank inside of your vehicle, now you're trapped. You're trapped to finding one way that you can screw a hose to, run the hose out to your vehicle and fill it up. And I know lots of van lifers say that if they had to do their vehicles again, they would remove those big tanks, right? I mean, at the beginning, it's probably okay, but after years and years and years of living in your van, some of those things start to just become annoying, where I can fill up anywhere. I can fill up at those spots and grocery stores. Why don't I wrap my van camo like my shirt? So I have a subscriber that has a shop that does vehicle wraps in Vermilion, Alberta. So they're on my Patreon. I don't know if they still watch us, but they commented to me once saying, hey, bring a bichrome, let's wrap your van. I don't want to do a vehicle wrap for the reason that this thing sees a lot of branches, a lot of trees, a lot of backcountry abuse. And I wouldn't want to see a $5,000 vehicle wrap, because those wraps are flipping expensive, to have a branch go through it and snag it one day and wreck that massive amount of money we just put into it. But I have thought about it, because I thought it'd be a great way to put my logos on the outside, make it look all fun, and you just like make it look good. But then you start thinking about the abuse this thing goes through, because I am not gentle with this van. You guys have watched it in my channel. I shove this thing through the bush. I have no cares, just shove it in there. The trail gets narrower, that's all right. I have a gas pedal. I'm gonna shove my way through it. So yeah, that's why. I've pondered everything when it comes to how to paint my vehicle. That's for sure. Buy a fishing rod. Heard that. When do I first turn on my heater? I actually ran my heater this morning. So last year, a year ago now, I bought a Webasto dry air heater that taps into my van's gasoline tank. So no need for any external diesel tanks or anything like that. It taps into my van's gas tank. And I have been turning it on at least, like in the summertime, I turned it on at least every 2 weeks for a half an hour, because I didn't want to shut it off after the last cold day and let it sit for 6 months without being turned on. I figured, just my brain for maintenance reasons was like, let's keep this thing moving. So every couple of weeks, I turned it on. In the hottest days of summer, I didn't care. Let it run for 30 minutes just so I know when I turn it on in the winter, it's still going to turn on. You know what I mean? So I have actually been using it a fair amount lately, because the weather's been getting chillier. It drops down to 8 degrees, whatever, at night. That's warm enough when I get up in the morning and turn my heater on just to heat it up a little bit. It works great. Webasto versus RV heater, which one works better? I don't know what you mean by RV heater. But there's a lot of good brands that make the heaters like I do. Lots of good brands. Ontario sucks for insuring schoolies. I wouldn't know anything about that either. I do know about insuring my van in my province, but it changes with every province that goes across. It's all different. Do I ever have mold issues on your walls or ceiling panels? No. I've had moisture underneath my bed before, but I bought a mat that goes on top of it called Hypervent. It's like a hard plastic weaved together, looks like plastic spaghetti, just to allow airflow through it, called Hypervent. I had moisture underneath my bed. Hypervent went in, never had a problem since. So, but we'll find out this winter how that all works out. So, because as soon as I had the moisture, I bought it right away. Problem went away. But those moisture problems sometimes aren't always an everyday thing. Sometimes it could be what the humidity and what the current weather conditions were like over that week that created that problem. So sometimes when you do your fix and you go, oh, it's all gone now, sometimes you realize it wasn't your fix. It was just because things changed outside. Dusty Cole says, I'm buffering. If I'm buffering, reload the page. You'll be just fine. I'm doing 100% on mine. I'm not buffering whatsoever. Right there. Looks good. That's a weird question. How can you tell if my fridge smells like onions or smells like BO? Usually if you're smelling a BO smell, go like this. You'll figure it out. Or give yourself a little rub in all the right places and go like this. That's a silly question. If your fridge stinks, clean it. My fridge stinks on that note. I just watched the replay where I sniffed my fingers. Welcome to van life, man. That's how you know if you need a good wipe or not. That's hilarious. So someone here says Tasia's. Someone says, holy crap, $1,000. That's not $1,000 in our regular currency. So if you Google it, $1,000 RUB is not $1,000. That's a different currency. A whole different story. Give your daughter your van and keep the ambulance. Maybe. How much do I keep in my fridge? Currently, right now, not that much, because we've been working on my van so much lately that that I haven't really put anything in my fridge. But right now, literally, my fridge side is just beer, really. Beer and some condiments. And usually all I keep in my fridge is beer, some bagged mixed salad stuff. And then my freezer is always full of everything else I need, you know what I mean? And Cruz also, he hasn't been lately because we've been stuck doing projects here. But Cruz is also on raw meat in the morning. So there you go. 1,000 RUB is $13.66 US. So that answered your question for somebody who asked. Or $17 Canadian. Thank you guys. I love it that you guys Google this for me. Yeah. So $1,000 RUB is $17 Canadian. Haven't taught my daughter to drive yet. No, she's 15. She got another year before that's legal. Have I taught her? No. No. That's a good question though. What's my go-to tequila? Good question. My go-to tequilas change on a regular. My favorite tequila right now is reserved for family. Believe this or not, because anybody who's ever drinking tequila knows never to buy this one. Jose Cuervo. Jose Cuervo, the Jose Cuervo special, the shit they give you at the bar, don't drink it, it's garbage. But Jose Cuervo makes a tequila called Reserved for Family. It is incredible. The top of the lid is dipped in wax. It's stamped. They're numbered. They're handwritten. They're beautiful. That's my favorite tequila right now. But that changes though. Sometimes I'll get another one and I'll be like, oh, this is my new go-to. But that's my favorite tequila right now. Chrome, come to Cuba. Maybe one day. You never know. Maybe one day my channel turns into a fly around the world and vlog channel. That is possible. Ain't gonna be anytime soon though, that's for sure. Drone license take test thoughts. My thoughts on that is if you're in an area like Canada where you need a drone license to fly a drone, buy a drone that doesn't need a license. I did. I bought the DJI Mavic Mini 2. I don't need a license to fly that whatsoever. Sure, there's regulations and stuff on what and where I can fly, but I don't need a license when it does go up in the air. And you got to watch, there's places you can't fly it. Like you're not allowed to fly a drone in a provincial park or a national park and things like that. There's lots of areas you cannot fly one, even though you don't have a license. There's still rules you got to follow. But I bought the little baby one because it's not under the license quite yet. I'm pretty sure at some point they're going to do it. Show us my painted van. My van is not painted. My van is a white van, see? Cabo Wabo tequila? No. Not a fan whatsoever. Believe it or not, years ago, that tequila used to be different. It doesn't taste the same anymore. It was a pretty decent tequila, but not so great right now. That's just my personal. I'm quite a tequila buff here. So I had some like probably maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and I was just not a fan. I was like, what happened to this tequila? Maybe other tequilas just got better, and that one just started to go. Everybody's got their own taste preference, though. You know, don't take my advice on things, because you guys might go out and buy that bottle of reserved for family and hate it, right? Each person has their own flavor palette, that's for sure. Am I still in Alberta? Yep, I am currently parked in Calgary, Alberta, right now as we talk. I want a greasy. Why do you guys do that to me? Someone's like, I want a greasy cheeseburger. Now I want a greasy cheeseburger. People used to pop in my live streams and be like, I want a taco. I'm like, damn it. Now I want a taco. When am I going to do another cooking with Chrome video? I always giggle when you guys ask me these questions about doing a cooking for Chrome video. I giggle because I'm the worst cook on the planet. Maybe not. Maybe there's other worse people, but I'm not. I don't enjoy cooking, so I think that's why I always say I suck at it, because I don't like cooking. It's not something I enjoy doing. You know, and I got friends of mine who are chefs. That's their love and passion is food. And me, I love to eat, but I don't like to cook. The prep work, I just think is a pain in the ass. You know, deep fried pickles sounds good to me. And a Caesar? Woo, I haven't had a Caesar in a long time. That's usually not my go-to when I think about having a drink, is a Caesar, but that sounds pretty damn good though. I've seen the Caesars where there's like a meal hanging out the top of it on sticks, like little sliders and stuff. Come on now. Do I still have my tequila drawer? Nope, the tequila drawer has been retired. My former tequila drawer, so if you missed it, I used to have a tequila drawer. You open up the drawer, the lights would turn on. It all had a black foam in there with the inserts. The bottle sat perfectly. My shot glasses, my glasses, all sat perfectly. What's in that drawer now? Socks and underwear. Keeping it real. Yeah, socks and underwear. I just needed some more space, and the way things were in my van weren't working out, so I was like, I need to get this over here to open up another cupboard for something else, so I moved my socks and underwear into my former tequila drawer. Do I store onions in my fridge? Because I don't cook, I don't keep onions in my van whatsoever. I don't. I have had onions in my van, but I've bought them for a specific meal. You know, I'm not one to actually keep food on stock so I can be creative and make a meal. That's not me. It's never been me. I've actually been cooking more in my van. I shouldn't say that. I've been cooking more in my life for myself now that I've been in my van than I ever did living in my apartment from before. iFly, thanks for the super chat. Bobtail Trucker, thank you so much. Link for the hyper cover for the bed. I don't have a link for it, but if you just Google Hypervent, Hypervent, Hypervent. I'm pretty sure it's a marine product for boats. They put it underneath their cushions to keep their cushions from not getting moisture in the boats. It's a little bit pricey, but Hypervent. I just Googled Hypervent and I found a local marine and mattress place on Vancouver Island where I bought it from. So some of those places may not ship, but I'm pretty sure that product is available just about everywhere. All right, I just scrolled through. Hopefully I caught everybody's super chats. I always feel bad when I miss super chats. I feel bad because, come on. Where are we going here? Oh, I'm missing more here. Carla, thank you so much. How about a camp together on a border between Canada and the US? I'd love to throw a beer over the border. That is such a great idea. There's some great places along the borderline outside of Vancouver through the valley where we could 100% do that. That'd be kind of fun. Is it legal to do a subscriber gathering on a border crossing while I'm standing in Canada and everybody else is standing on the US side? Huh. I like that idea. That could be super fun. Thank you for giving me that one. JP on the road, thank you so much for that. What's the project in Calgary? I missed that part. That part has not been posted yet. If you want to know what we're doing with that project, because Patreon gets things in real time. They see everything before YouTube does, just by default. It's how it happens. So if you just be patient, wait about another week, and those videos will be coming out on YouTube. I'm still ahead on videos a little bit, but if you guys are super curious on what happens in my world, Patreon is the place to be, or YouTube memberships. Barefoot and Badass, thank you so much. My home on wheels is getting towed tomorrow. Water pump died. That sucks. Sorry guys, I'm just reading here. Hold on. Your message is long. I had to move my page over. I understand your project craziness. Yeah, so what I don't ask the place that's fixing the water pump if you can sleep in your van outside. Anytime I've ever had little things like that go on with my van, I've never had any major mechanical issues, but in those situations, I just ask the shop, I'm like, hey, that's my house. Is there any chance that I can sleep in my van in the parking lot before you fix it? And then when you have it for the day, can I have it back at the end of the night to sleep in it too? And if they're like, yeah, sure, that's cool, then just do that. You know, most shops are pretty understandable. So for me, I'll call a shop, I'll explain my scenario. They're like, yeah, that's cool. You can sleep outside my shop tonight and we'll get you fixed in the morning. I'm like, cool. If the shop's like, no, I'll move along to another shop. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? Like, there's enough people around here that have enough care and compassion for you living in your van that they'll let you sleep outside. But it is the craziness sometimes. Like my project right now, I've been sleeping in my van every night, but it's been, yeah, you guys will catch up. Galactic Entertainment, what's up, buddy? We got some gigs. We need you to DJ, and the studio is waiting for you. So Galactic Entertainment is a company that I DJ'd for a lot before I lived in my van, and I did a short stint in their office after I quit my day job. But the stint in their office there made me realize that I don't want a day job ever. Thank you, Galactic, for teaching me that. It was just that reassurance thing. I felt bad because they got the blunt end of my screw the day job thing. But if you guys go over to the Galactic Entertainment YouTube channel, you'll see some vlogs that I made. So maybe my YouTube got started because of the videos I made for Galactic Entertainment. Jay, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. Really appreciate it. I'll definitely come back and visit when I get back. Bob Baker, thanks for the super chat. Aaron Matthew, thank you. A huge fan of van life and your videos. Been following you for years. I'm going to start my build in about a few months. Sweet, man. Thank you. So back to Galactic Entertainment for a second. Jay, to answer your first questions, we got some gigs we need you to DJ. No. No. Depending on the gig. But no. That's my answer. No. A lot of people have asked me, like, how come I just don't? I'm like, I don't know. There's just some things I just don't want to do. You know, it's a weird thing. I think it's just because now I have a revenue stream somewhere else that I don't have to just take DJ gigs because I need them, right? So it's been kind of nice lately for that side of things. So somebody just answered somebody's question. Now I missed the other one. And someone's like, he's not ignoring your question. He's not able to answer them all. Yep, that would be absolutely impossible. When you have 1,100 people on my live stream right now, to answer them all is like not going to happen. I wish I could, man. I really honestly wish I could. May I have a hug? Absolutely, Carla. Come here. Here's a hug for you, Carla. No problem. I just hugged everybody now by default. There's dudes out there going, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Easy on my personal space, bro. Super great. Yeah, man, 1,100 people on here right now. That's madness. So while I got you guys here, I have some things on an update list that I should get out there. Could somebody do me a favor? Maybe Patty or somebody. Can you go? But pretty much so there's a battery giveaway that I announced the other day, giving away a CanBat, which is the brand of lithium batteries that I have. CanBat 100 amp hour lithium battery, giving away like very, very soon, like I think they messaged me the other day, like very soon. So I believe, because I don't have access to searching right now because I'm using my laptop and my phone. It's canbat.com, canbat.com/Van City. Can somebody go on that site and confirm that that's the one? If it is, if you guys go on to canbat.com/Van City, you can enter to win a 100 amp hour lithium battery from Canbat, the same ones that I have. The thing's only good for Canada and US people only, because shipping the lithium outside of that is a problem. So for Canada and US only, you guys can enter to win the 100 amp hour Canbat lithium battery. It's on canbat.com/Van City. Can somebody confirm that for me? Let me see if I can do that here without messing up this live stream. Let me see. Give me a second, guys. I'll go do this on my own. New tab. Canbat. Oops. .com/Van City. That's it. Canbat.com/Van City. I'll post the link. Copy. So if you guys all want to go over there and it's gonna work. It's gonna work. There we go. Win a 100 amp hour lithium battery. I just posted the link on there. Let me pin my comment. Hold on. Someone let me know if that link works. Things get so fast paced for me, man. I always forget if, whoops. Okay, I pinned that message to the top of the chat, so it should be there for anybody who needs it. But yeah, man, a chance to win a free 100 amp hour battery. And so once, I think that's coming up soon. Like, guys, like, soon, very soon. He messaged me the other day, but I've been so busy I haven't had the chance to look at the messages. But so what we're doing for that is, after he's notified me that it's time to do the draw, he is going to give me 5 or 10 names. They're going to pick the 10 names on their own, or 5 names on their own. Then I'm going to go and let Mr. Cruzy Bear pick the winner. We're going to stick the names underneath a whole whack of Timbits, the little tiny donut holes from our little Canadian little coffee shop. And whatever donut he eats first, whatever name is underneath it, is going to be the one that wins that 100 amp hour lithium battery, coming up very soon. Pretty damn cool. We all like free shit. Right? All right, guys. Come on, man. Feed me some questions here. I know I missed a bazillion. Can you run a Jackery to 0 without hurting it? Anytime I think you run any battery down to 0, I think you're going to cause damage. I think that's just a default thing. Batteries aren't meant to be 100% drained. Have I dropped my Jackery down to 0? I have an Explorer 240 in my van that I drop to 0 all the time. And I still had that damn thing for 3 damn years. Still works. Same one for 3 years. Still works. So yeah, but it does reduce the life of it. Have I noticed a difference? No. I'm not good with those things. I literally use it until it's dead and then I just recharge it. You know, the only batteries that I'm really a little bit more hyper focused on are my house batteries. So my lithium batteries here, and when I had Deep Cycle in my van, I was a bit more, because you watch that system. So, oh, that's my camera, not my phone. I watch that system on my van quite a bit. So I'm always looking on the app, kind of seeing what's going on, how much my state of charge is, how much time I have left, how much power it draws coming out of it. So I use a Victron battery monitor to monitor all of this stuff. Yeah, but can you run it to 0? You can, but they recommend not to. Some people are just really good with keeping an eye on those things. Me, not so much. I just use things. You know, and sometimes it's, you know, yeah. I think it might be a little bit different if I used my Jackery battery as my only source of power. But because I don't, I just use it for anything outdoors, anything I need outside, filming stuff, and I use that battery all the time. Did I make the largely car show yesterday? I don't know what the large, I don't even know where that is. Where is, what's that largely? Are you talking about Langley, BC? Like way back in, I'm in another province. If you're talking about the Langley car show, I'm not even in that province anymore. Can I explain the lithium and the cold problem again? Good question. So last year, or last winter, was the first winter I had those CanBat batteries. I had a battery problem and I thought I just drained the battery. That was not the case. So inside of my lithium battery is a battery monitor system that monitors the health of the battery to make sure it's not too hot, not too cold, not too whatever. So the BMS system shut off when it was like minus 30, whatever the temperature was. Something triggered inside of one of my lithium batteries and it shut the system off. But that's the battery that connects the next battery. So when, like, I didn't know what to do at that point. I don't know anything about electrical on that thing. Life has been a learning process, or van life has been a learning process. So I just went, boom, lights out, no heat, no power, no nothing. And I was like, what the? I was like freaking out, like it was cold. So it turns out that the battery monitor system in one of my batteries just read danger and it shut off. So all it needed was to be reset. And that required opening up the battery, unplugging the battery monitor system, plugging it back in, putting it back, and it would have been back to normal. But something in that battery monitor thing read danger and shut off for safety reasons. Should it have shut off? Probably not. But now at least I know how to reset it if it ever were to happen again. Hopefully it never happens again. Maybe it was a little problem with just that one little battery, who knows. But that was the only problem I've had with those batteries yet. Outside of that one scenario, these things have worked fine for me. You know, it's my first experience with lithium. They charge every time I need them. They work, except for that one time in the cold weather. But winter's coming, and I plan on being in some super cold weather this year again. So we will see if that happens to me again on this round this year. But so I thought the batteries died, but once we bench tested the battery after we got everything back, once I bench tested the battery, the battery was at 76% state of charge. It was 3/4 full. You know, it was just the cold weather made it shut off. So I don't know if that's, who knows. Sharing the Wild, what's up, buddy? Am I still waiting for that paint to dry? Yep. Still waiting for paint to dry, buddy. No, I'm sitting on the side of a road, bro, and it's raining out here. Still waiting for my van to dry, man. It's like the weather's been the last couple of days. Kirby, thanks for the super chat. Cruz and Disco seem to have different personalities. You got that right. Do you see a big difference in bulldog temperament? Yes, I've owned a few bulldogs in my life, and if I'm just comparing the two, comparing Disco, which was my old one, rest in peace, little bro, to this one, huge difference. My other bulldog was very calm, very chill, just sat around. This guy, asshole. True that. He has a whole different attitude. He can be as sweet as pie some days, and other days, just attitude to the next level. I like him because he's completely different. First bulldog I've ever had who's been like this. I've never had a bulldog that's been a protector. This one, oh yeah, anything happens around, he's like growling and looking. He's harmless, but definitely makes his presence. Like if something's around the camp and he hears something in the bush, he's like, puffs his chest all up. It's like, he does, for real. And he makes himself known. And I've never had a bulldog be that way, which has been kind of cool. And it's never been with humans. It's always just been with like animals or even a vehicle that drives through. We haven't seen a car in days. Some comes through, he just pucks his chest up. He's like, what are you doing? But yeah, there's a whole different temperament in both. They're all the same, still the same simple bulldog, the same calm, quiet, sweet with people, but definitely a whole lot of difference. Pat, thank you so much for the love, man. I appreciate it. I want more winch videos. So because like, as you guys have noticed on my channel, we've been just doing project after project after project. It just kind of continues on, nonstop projects this year, and we're stuck in another project right now. I haven't had the chance to get out in the bush. I haven't had the chance to go out there and have some fun and put my van in those scenarios where the winch would be needed. But as soon as we get that chance, we're going to be on the road. And maybe not now, but maybe back when we're back on Vancouver Island, so with that, or back in BC for the winter, we'll get out in the bush and do some serious stuff. And maybe we'll get some gnarly situations. That winch is a possibility. I'm excited to put that thing to some use, though. Should I put a shower in my new van build? That is a question for yourself. So some things that I've learned from van lifers that I've met along the way and from my own personal experience. Because I have a larger vehicle now that I bought the ambulance as a project, I have the possibility to put an indoor shower. You hear that? Open the door, it shuts up. So now that I have the ambulance as a bigger project, I have the ability to put an indoor shower. Am I going to do the indoor shower? Heck no. I have the ability to put in a sink. Am I going to do it? Heck no. These are luxuries and things that people think that you need because you come over from one side of life, from apartments over to another side of life. What's up, Mark the paint guy? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having fun in the rain wherever you are. I am Mark. Hopefully you had a good night at your party last night. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that, bro. Oh, it says winner was chosen at Cambat. So I haven't read the messages. Shitty. So you guys can't. Thanks for posting that. So the guys from Cambat messaged me the other day, and I just been so busy I haven't had the chance to read the messages. So yeah, there we go. So the winner hasn't been chosen yet. That would mean that they probably picked their 10 people or 5 people, whatever it is, and maybe that's what's in the email that he sent me is the list of people, that we need to pick from, and I'm letting Cruz pick the winner. So next couple of days I'll get a chance to get in there. We've been bombarded, man. Like I got so many emails in my thing and so much stuff to catch up on. But yeah, so, sorry guys, I'll remove that link from here now that we know it's that giveaway is already in the process. Is it Dana? Dana? Welcome to the live stream, Dana. Thank you. That's funny. I'll stop spamming now. Okay, so on the topic of sink and shower, I honestly think if you are living in a bus, put in a shower. If you're living in a giant box truck, put in a shower. You've got space to spare. You have way more room than what you need to be happy. I live in this tiny little van and I got everything that I need. I have the ability to shower outside using my bucket and a little portable thing. But I will say, in the ambulance, it is not going to be getting a shower. It will, on the other hand, have an outdoor shower. So a way that'll be hot water on demand and all the shower stuff outside. So I can literally run a hose to a creek, turn on the 12-volt pump, it goes through my hot water on demand unit, and I could have an endless shower with water from a creek outside for an hour if I really wanted to. So it will be getting a shower outdoor only, because I honestly think that your inside living space is more valuably used, is that even a word? Used for living. And I don't think having a shower every few days is worthy of putting that much of a shower space inside of your vehicle. You know what I mean? Like, it's different if you put a drain on your floor and you build a little makeshift one in the middle, but yet when all that stuff's taken away, it's still back to your house. Different story. But I don't think I would ever personally put a shower in any of my vehicles. I think that's a waste of room. Big time. And you know, to shower outside. Like, I could shower right here where I am. I'm right beside a highway, but there's a big mound of dirt here beside me. I could 100% open up my side doors and do a shower and nobody would see. You know, there's places that you can find to drive around and shower with if you had an outdoor one. Terry, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Someone's in a 40-foot bus because they have 14 animals. Whoa, that's a lot of animals. Do I have a fire extinguisher? Yep, there's one right below me underneath my seat. Of course I do. That is something that your van should always have. I have two ways to put out fires. I have a full fire extinguisher underneath my seat, like one of the big red tanks, and I have a spot one. This is cool. I got these at Costco. And I've tried this on a campfire and it works. It's First Alert. So this company is the same company that makes fire extinguishers. They have a little spot one for if you're in the kitchen, you can put out spot kitchen fires, and it's not one-time use. You can use it and continue to use it. Yeah, they're great, man. I got these at Costco. I used one in a video once because I wanted to know if it worked. So we had a campfire outside, and I'm like, I'm gonna grab, because they came in a 2-pack. I'm gonna grab one. I went out to the campfire and it did. It put out the fire with that. So I have two of them, because if you're in the kitchen, having something quick grab for something small, if something goes sideways, is great. And having a big one, just in case the sideways one goes really sideways, is a really good idea. But having the two sources is pretty good. What YouTube channels do I subscribe to? Quite a few. I have lots of subscriptions on there, even on channels that I don't even watch anymore. But I don't watch a lot of van content. I pop into some of them. I'm more regular than others. But the van life content is not something I'm interested in watching. I think it's because I make YouTube videos about van life. I don't want to like spend my time off watching van life stuff. You know what I mean? I like watching other things. Like, I'm more into watching like video and filming stuff, like the creative ones like Peter McKinnon or things like that, where they're all about, you know, video editing or camera angles or cameras or stuff like that. I enjoy the creative content. Someone said something about Annette, thanks for the super chat, about cracking down on van life in Squamish. So Squamish, British Columbia is a place that I spent a ton of time on when I was out there for the winter time. They crack down on van life every summer, but you will find those van life regulations or the things that they're pushing on will ease up in the winter times, because Squamish sees a massive increase in van lifers, like probably 10, 15, 20 times more van lifers out there in the summer than they have the rest of the year, because rock climbers, ton of them live in vans. Mountain bikers, tons of them live in vans or travel in vans. So because it's the outdoor, pretty much the outdoor capital of British Columbia, like Squamish is like the destination between Squamish and Whistler for everything outdoors. If you want a mountain bike, that's the place to be in BC. You want to windsurf, rock climb, base jump, slack line off the top of the mountains, that's the place to be. So they see a lot of vehicle dwellers up there, because most of those adventure guys are out there living in their vehicles and just adventuring and, you know, sleeping in the back of their minivans and rock climbing all day long. So when it comes to there, it's understandable. It's understandable that the community pushes back a little bit during the summer months. You see it every single year. It never goes anywhere. They just put in the regulations until they all go back to their places that they're regularly living. They don't stay there year round. They have a pretty decent van life community out there that is very respectful in Squamish. But a lot of people just sleep at Walmart. And Walmart out there has a policy, after 6 p.m., gone by 9 a.m. That's it. So I dare you to go camping with Steve Wallace. I've been hearing his name a fair amount lately. I never really watched his channel until not that long ago, where someone put me onto it. Not my thing. It's not really much of a dare. It's not hard work to go sleep in a bush behind a police station. Nobody sees you back in there. Nobody. I've slept in front of police stations. They don't care. Would I ever consider getting an e-bike? No. The only reason why I would never consider getting an e-bike or a bike, I used to have a mountain bike when I first moved into my van, a very nice mountain bike because I used to mountain bike all the time. Now that I live in my van, I have a dog. So mountain biking in my life before van life was a little different because I leave my dog at my condo, take off for the morning, go for a nice huge ride and downhill mountain bike up in Squamish, drive back to the city, then have the rest of the day with my dog. But because I live in my van, anytime I need to go out and take the bike out, I would need to find a puppy sitter for the dog. That's a huge, huge thing. And it's that, and I also don't want to keep a, you know, like for me, I'm used to be a mountain biker. So if I were to ever buy another bike, it'd be $5,000 sitting on the rack in the back of my van. Ain't gonna happen. No freaking way. And it's not an option. So yeah, that's the only reason why, like even an e-bike just for general running around is not something I'm gonna do because of the dog. I'm not about to leave him behind. You know, it's okay in the winter. I could leave him in the van for a few hours while I take off and ride around town, sure. But in the summertime, when you really want to be on the bike is when you can't leave the dog in the van because it's too damn hot. So yeah, those are just some of the things that you have to give up if you're living in a van with a dog. There's some things you just can't do. Sometimes it's leaving them behind on a hot day, you know? I love this little meatball. This little meatball over here. Hey. Hey. Crazy. It's no cares in the world whatsoever. Oh my gosh, you guys, we've been on here for what? I don't even know. Oh yeah, boy. Sorry guys, I'm missing a lot to your comments. Sometimes it just refreshes and these things just go whipping by. Get a beach cruiser with a basket. That'd be more my style. A beach cruiser with a basket. Heck yeah, dude. Do I have... So this is a question where van lifers are a little bit different. Do I have an emergency plan? I get that. Or a carry bag or a survival or like a, so you have grab and go bag for survival. You see, I have a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, who's really into prepping and survival stuff. And he messages me quite often is like, dude, you're just ready, right? Like he lives in an apartment and he's got like all like extra food storage, grab and go bags ready to, he's prepped for whatever he's prepping for. I'm not into that kind of stuff, but he definitely is. And if you look at it by default, I live in my bug out van. Guys like that build bug out vans so they, when they need to go, they grab their shit, they get in the van that's already stocked and they go. I kind of live in one, you know? If you think of that, kind of already live in one. So yeah, there's a little bit of a difference between those two. As long as I keep my van stocked with food and beer and tequila, I'm good to go if something crazy were to happen. I mean, any van lifer is more prepped for crazy shit than people that, you know, that live in sticks and bricks, you know what I mean? Because we have the vehicles already. Cruz is snoring away over there. Have you ever been to Newfoundland? No, I have not. I would like to. I was actually sitting at the ferry terminal in Cape Breton when I went to my coast to coast Canada trip. My back's getting stiff. Sitting by the ferry terminal, I Googled them. When do these ferries go and how much are they? I debated it, but it was so close, so much towards the end of the year that I didn't want to go any farther on my trip. Yeah, that's awesome. Someone just said Emmy's doing a live stream right now. Do I ever do live stream DJing? No, because on YouTube you can't do that kind of stuff because it breaks copyright laws. As soon as you play music that you don't own or own a license to, you get nailed for copyright infringement. And that's a thing all of us YouTubers kind of go through. We always have to deal with that stuff. And oh, someone says I'm missing something here. Sorry, guys. I'm just zipping through my stuff. Annette, thank you. Terry, thank you. Do I got all the super chats? Oh. Patricia, thank you for that. Love your videos. I got my Hypervent. Can be purchased from Foam Zone in Victoria, BC. So that's where I bought it from. I bought mine from Foam Zone in Victoria, BC. But some people that ask on my channel are not from Canada. So you can buy that stuff pretty much wherever. Just Google Hypervent. Yeah, I bought it from Foam Zone. It's pretty good, man. Yeah, they're the lady that owns that place is very, very, very sweet. Will I ever leave Canada? Yep. When boredom kicks in. Maybe soon. Maybe a million years from now. I don't know, but yeah, maybe. Funny. What about Twitch streaming? It's a possibility, but my only thoughts about doing those kind of streaming things, like all my DJ stuff on Twitch, is my audience is here. You know, so that's where the issues are. How are Cruz's? So if you're talking about Cruz's leg is definitely way better. He's been running around like a crazy boy. I think he just might have tweaked it in a weird way that day and he needed a couple days to rest up on it, but it's been back to normal. Where's Jeffy Bear? I think he's in Ontario still. Oh my gosh. Van Island with Ryan. Went to the shoe tree. All the stickers were already gone. Haha, oh well. No way! That's insane. So if you guys missed a video the other day, way up on the north side of the island, I had a bunch of stickers. I think I put like 10 of each or whatever it was in a pair of old Converse of mine up on a tree that was covered in shoes. That's insane that they're all gone. So when I come back through this winter, I'll have to restock those. Another place that I left stickers, Ryan, if you're running around, I left a ton of stickers. This was a while ago though, so they may all be gone too. At the Husan Caves, Husan, I think that's the name of them, Husan Caves, something like that. There were caves towards, as you're taking that road towards Zebelos or Zebelos, however you pronounce that one too. I left a bunch of them in that box too as well. That was a while ago though. Do you live in your van all winter in Canada? Absolutely. I live in my van full time, all year round. Did you guys know? Yesterday was my 4 years anniversary of living in my van. Yesterday. 4 years yesterday. That's bananas. Things have been just coming by up so quick and so much stuff going on that I just kind of forgot. You know what I mean? Until it just kind of creeped up. I'm like, we're already here already, and I forgot to do a video about my 4-year anniversary in the van or do a recap video. I've made them every single year. I figured after 4 years in, you know, it's just another day for me of living in the van. But yeah, yesterday was 4 years of me living inside of my van. What a beautiful thing to think about. Thank you guys for the love. I really appreciate it. William, coffee and donut on you. Thank you so much, William. I really appreciate that. Yeah, guys. Living in the van has been probably the best decision I ever made. It's been fun. It's been challenging at times. But I think it's the everyday not knowing what's going on around you that just makes things great. Yeah, it's been really good. Whatever, consider getting a fly rod. Let me start with just a regular spinning rod, the regular fishing rod first before I get into learning how to fly fish. Cruise. Yeah, YouTube is very powerful. You got that right. I am sure glad that I made that step to producing YouTube videos at the very beginning of my van life, because I have a full record of everything that ever happened. Every challenge I went through, every stage of my van life I went through. I've got videos to go back and reference years from now, or you guys have like literally, if you're new to van life, go watch my earlier videos and watch me fumble and get through every day and figure things out on my channel, because I uploaded so much content. You guys got to watch me go through all my phases. You got to watch me learn what I know now. Those are all in all of my earlier videos, man. There's such good content back there. It's super sad because I got videos back there that only have like 4,000 views, and they were great videos. You know, even a couple years ago, I got videos that were only at 2,000 views, and it's sad. You know, sorry, at 10,000 views. There's such good content, but my audience was so much smaller back then that, you know, that stuff just doesn't get watched anymore. Fair warning, if you've never watched my earlier videos, I used to dye my hair. It was super black. Oh, good times, good times. TJ Maxx has ceramic saute pans. Yeah, those ceramic pans are everywhere, and I'm pretty sure they're all no different than the one that I bought. A lot of people have been asking where I got mine. Just at a discount store. Do I have an emergency radio? An RU ham radio license? So I bought myself a radio, no, I don't have a ham radio license. But I bought myself, was it UHF or UVF, whatever that is. Anyway, I bought myself a radio, a Kenwood, whatever, it was like about $500. I bought myself a radio so I could listen to all the forestry trucks, so I know where they're coming down those roads, so we don't get face to face one day. I have not installed it yet. I do need to get that radio programmed still. There's places, I don't know how to do it myself, but there's places that'll program all the forestry stuff on there for me. But I do have a Garmin InReach for emergencies. So this little unit here is called a Garmin InReach. It's a satellite texting unit. I have it mounted to my dashboard, and they make bigger ones with the big screens. They look like giant cell phones. But you just tether that one to the app on your phone, and you have the same thing, the same full access. You type on your phone. If I want to text out, you type from your phone. But it's great. So if I'm way out in the middle of the bush, I can still text out to my daughter or text out to friends or anything like that, and give people updates on what's happening with me, or text out if I need help or I need supplies. Or on the side of my Garmin InReach unit, there's an SOS button. You pop this cap off, you push the button, now they will send you help. But thankfully I've never been in that situation, but I have definitely been, I've definitely used that for texting out to friends, and finding if somebody's in the area to come out and hang out with me if I'm bored. You know what I mean? Hold on here. Sorry, guys. A bunch of emails are popping up on my phone. XX, Chrome, I'm doing good, man. Where do I find my music for my vlogs? The links to those are in the description of every video. Most of my music comes from Epidemic Sound. It's a great music service for YouTube, and it's very easy to use. Epidemic Sound. But there's lots and lots of different ones, and you have to get them from licensed companies. Yeah, there's a lot of information in my description of my videos. I know a lot of you guys don't have access to the description because you might be watching on a smart TV or stuff like that where you don't have access to down there. But yeah, so that's why we created the website, vancityvanlife.ca. Links to everything, including that. My music is all there. There's tons of stuff over there. Why don't you use spray cans to paint your van again? That, my friends, was a very big option. We'll dive into that in some videos that I already recorded coming up, because the whole painting the van thing has been a thing. So because I rattle canned my paint job before a few years ago, a lot of other paints will react to it, which means if you spray it over it, it'll wrinkle the rattle can and everything will be screwed up. So, but yeah, I dove into that subject in a video that's coming up. So that video is probably coming up in about 5 days, where we talk about the rattle can paint job on my vehicle. But yeah, I mean, rattle canning it was great, but don't rattle can your van if you ever plan on keeping it for the long haul. You know what I mean? Because you never know what your plan is in the future. Like if you bought a van, you rattle canned it and think you're going to own it for another 10 years, then you're stuck rattle canning it forever. It's just, you know, you got to think about that. You think about your financial situation 5 years from now. Are you ever going to properly paint it? If so, don't rattle can it. It's just going to create a huge problem. Will I ever go to Europe with my van? Going to another country with my van is the same thing as me going down to the US with my van. When I get bored of Canada is when I will probably shift and start filming into the US until I get bored of the US. And then maybe when I get tired of the US, I'll probably be 70 years old at that point. Then maybe I'll ship it to another country. But as of right now, no. What coffee do I drink? Warm coffee. I like coffee. Any coffee. Doesn't matter. I'll drink coffee from a 7-Eleven. I'll drink it from Starbucks. I'll drink it from a fancy coffee shop in the big city. It don't matter to me. I'll drink any coffee. I drink Timmy's a lot because a lot of people send me Tim Hortons gift cards. That's why you usually see me at Timmy's a lot. I even have another fresh gift card here. So I drink Timmy's a lot because a lot of people usually end up just giving me Timmy's cards. Or if I've had some people gift me some Starbucks cards, I'll just be drinking Starbucks until those cards are empty too. But it's been nice though. I love it when subscribers have given me stuff like that, because then every morning I think about them. I'm like, man, thanks for buying my coffee in the morning. It's a sweet thing. Yeah, the US tour will definitely be my next chapter. Could be 5 years from now, could be more, but that's definitely going to be my next chapter. Anyway, you guys, I've been chatting long enough. I always know when I chat long enough because things get tense up in the neck from sitting here. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully I caught some of your questions. I know there's lots. This live stream stays, the comments stay up for me to read. So I will go through all the comments here coming up pretty soon. And I'll try to drag out as much of it as I can and do a Q&A video. I have a list here of some questions from a previous live stream that I never had the chance to answer that I'm going to throw up in a Q&A video as well too. I'll do the same thing with this one and see if I can get you guys' questions answered. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day today. What day is it? Sunday? Sunday. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys soon.